Austin Gold for the new wave of Classic Rock Webfest Fridays. How are you, Dave?
Very well, Anne. Thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this interview for quite a few weeks now. It's going to be good. It's going to be cool.
Pleased to meet you. Now, you're in Leeds at the moment. Is that where the band's based?
No, so we are exclusively based in Peterborough, and we travel up to see our esteemed producer, Mr. Andy Hawkins. He's one of the proprietors of the Nave Studio in Pudsey in Leeds, and we've done every album with him. I mean, I've known Andy for 25 years. Like we've worked. We had his own very humble studio in Peterborough. That's how we kind of met, and then we kind of followed him. Really, I followed him. And when we first
not in a stalkerish kind of way.
I'm too clumsy to be a stalker. I'm a size 12. I mean, it's just useless, isn't it? But yeah. So we've done everything. I mean, every album from the first album before we were signed, before the Dark Clouds. That was when we first recorded with Andy in his new studio, which is fab. It's a massive converted church. It's huge and such a great sound, great drum sound, and it's brilliant. Yeah, and we're old pals, so it's a great working process. Yeah.
Right, now you're a 4-piece. Am I correct in thinking you used to be a 5-piece?
That's right. Yeah. So
right.
we had a rhythm.
Before you go on, I was disappointed to find out that none of you are called Austin. So can you please tell me that the other member, when you were a 5-piece, was called Austin? Because that would just make sense. What's his name?
His name was Jack. His name was Jack.
Damn it.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a story behind the name, and as a bit of a tale. But yeah, so Jack was a rhythm guitarist, an old pal of mine, and the drummers. So we've done a lot of work together in other various projects. When I decided to put this band together, it was kind of reached a point in my writing and bands I was in. I was doing sort of alternative rock. I was doing hardcore stuff. I was doing sort of acoustic, sort of morbid stuff with piano and violins. And I mean, I'm proud of all the work. But I just had this like itching feeling. I got to do a blues rock band. It's what I grew up with. It's what I learned in my formative years. It's what I love. Ultimately, you know, it really is. So I decided to put the band together, and I got all my pals who are already in bands anyway. We were kind of a bit of I wouldn't say a super group, but we were a collective of local musicians. That's a good way of getting out of that. Okay. But yeah, and Jack was involved. I needed, because it was my first sort of foray into singing. I'd always sing leads before in a couple of bands, but never this sort of expressive. It had been more sort of harder rock.
You do remember this particular question was about who Austin is?
Yes. Oh, right. Okay, I'm getting to that. Right.
We're getting to it.
Yeah. So yeah, well, that's a great interjection there, because we were called the Red Wine Blues Band. Just something plucked out the air, and it was like, and we did a little demo. We recorded in a local studio in Peterborough. Some good friend of ours, James Pepper, and it's really cool. People started digging it. People started buying it. Then we started to play some pubs. And it was quite, genre-specific stuff, really. We weren't playing, your classic covers. So we were playing quite niche stuff, but, not avant-garde. It was cool. But then the pubs started to get busier. And then we started to get into bigger venues. And I thought, right, this is happening. Something's happening here. And I said, we need to change the name, lads, because we just can't carry on with this. It sounds a bit too amateurish. And I've had this guitar pedal, contrary to belief, that because it is a guitar pedal I bought when I was 19. I'm 40 or something now, and so I've had it for ages.
40 something.
40 something, yeah. And 43.
I'll let that slide.
43 and Act 17. So
younger than me. You're a spring chicken by a year.
Never. You're a
2
bad
years.
liar.
I forgot how old I was. Yeah. Everyone knows. Go on.
Well, fair. So yeah, and I always wanted this. I had this idea about this band being called Austin Gold, but nothing suited, because I wasn't in this kind of blues rock, classic rock, and I thought that would fit perfect. I was thinking, what can we call ourselves? Going through loads of stuff. I was like, got it. So this guy who was interviewing us, it was really loud. Was it? I can't remember. It was one of the Camden venues, and we were all in, all crammed round, a little bit time. He's like, right, yeah. And he said, where's the name Austin Gold come from? An old fella. And he just completely misconstrued like a 10-minute conversation. He then put into print, which had some circulation. It became almost like a bit of a feature for gigs and stuff. It belonged to my mum when she was a drummer in the 60s. I'm like, hey, like my mum would have been old enough in the 60s, and well, she would have been at school. She never played drums in her life. So that's where it comes from. It comes from the guitar pedal, which I had from when I was 19.
Right, we're going to move on to talking about your latest release. This is your third release, which is finished, from what I can gather. Tell us about it. Do you have a title and a release date?
Do you know what? We literally signed the album off today in the studio.
And you can talk about it, can't you? Then
I can tell you about. About the album, some of the topics. I can tell you about stuff like that. But it's so early stages. We're in discussion with the new record label as well. Got involved now with the mighty Peak Evil, and he's kicking our butts. And so he's been orchestrating this new deal with a new label, and they're super excited. They've really got vibrant. They've got loads of new ideas. They're really stoked that we were going to get on their roster, as are we to be on the roster. So it's like it's starting anew, you know. So we're dead excited, yeah. So a bit about the album. It's making if we go back to the first album, Before Dark Clouds.
Yeah. Because
I write all the music and I write all the lyrics. So, but my thing is that album I just wrote because we had no deal, and it was just a case of like I've got this riff, I've got this piece of music, I've got some lyrics, like, and it just evolved. And I always knew what kind of sound I wanted it to be. And obviously the boys have got like their own opinions as well, but we're all on the same page. So then we went, and it was the first album, Before Dark Clouds. So it's been likened to Free, Bad Company, Foo Fighters Light, or Tom Petty in places, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd.
Not bad.
Yeah,
I know.
Oh,
yeah, likened to.
100%. So then the second album, we've done loads and loads and loads of shows, like, and played big festivals, small festivals, like grotty venues, theatres, selling out places, and we had a right old time. And just before COVID lockdown, like for every band, every musician, every artist for that matter, it's been pretty tough. But we had a right old time, and the second album was harder, but the lyrics were actually brighter.
Yeah.
This album really is, like, for me and the band, like, and Andy, producer as well, like, we are proper stoked with this. There's a lot of time, a lot of money has gone into it, and a lot of thought and consideration. We've gone into some places where we know that works live. There's one track, which one we just finished. Yeah. Just myself and a guitar, like not an acoustic, electric guitar, like a Jeff Buckley thing, and I'm not comparing it to that. I've always wanted to do that, just in a room with a clean guitar and a soft vocal. I've done it. So
I think we're going to have to leave it there for now, Dave. It's been so nice talking to you. I suggest everyone goes on your Facebook page, website. It's austingold.co.uk to check out where you're going to be playing this year, and for further updates on the album, release date, everything like that. It's been so nice talking to you, Dave. And I love people that can really talk, and you can really talk. And I think you would be great to have a drink with at a gig.
Absolutely. Let's arrange it. Let's do that. Let's do it.
All the very best. I look forward to your set tonight.
Thanks very much, Anne. Much best
Take
luck.
care.
Good luck. Thanks, Ed. Cheers. Bye.